Good morning. How are we this morning? Wherever you like. Good morning. Happy Saturday. How are we? Hi, Killer Matt. Hi, Penguin Fury. Logistics Live. Thank you for those sparks. Let me scroll up here. Devil Dog. Good morning. Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday. Hi, Logistics. Silver Knight. Mwah. Thank you for that host. Muffin Man. Mwah. Thank you for that host. I appreciate it. Good morning, Zombie Guts. Still haven't been to bed? Oh, no. Up all night, eh? Woody Dave. Mwah, thank you for that host. Life is great. Mwah, Logistics Live. Mwah, thank you for the host, guys. Batman Goddess, Regal, Gambleman. Mwah, thank you for those hosts. Good morning, Sneaky Tiger. Good morning. Moon Smurf and Sneaky Tiger. Mwah, thank you. Hi, Booked. Good morning, darling. Bumpiest and Booked. Mwah, thank you for those hosts. Thank you for those hosts, guys. Devil Dog. Mwah, thank you for those hosts. How is everybody's Sunday doing? How is everybody's Sunday? Jay Bauer, thank you. Thank you so much for that sub. 2 months at tier 1. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I don't know why it's not showing it. We're having bot issues this morning. I noticed like my even mix it up bot's not doing too well. Not doing too well. Like nothing is popping up. Right? Do you know what I mean? Reaper, mwah, thank you for that host. Hello, I have been animating for my YouTube, but my phone died. Oh, okay. What are you animating, Penguin? Batman, your order went through. You'll get it Tuesday. Sweet. Is Batman here? Well, it takes a little, something devil. I don't know what the hell's going on with it. Psychotic it is. We went back an hour last night at 2:30 a.m. We went back heavy. Mwah, thank you, babes, for that host. Good day, Reaper. Good day. We did. So if you guys are thinking that it's 10:30, it's not. It's 9:30 right now. Dahi. Mwah, thank you for that host. How is everything on Mixer's side? Kakashi, good morning. How are you? Oh, it's snowing out here. It's snowing out here. Great so far. Good. Everyone's weekend went well? Y'all had a good weekend? I did. I got a lot of work done. And we have our very first creature feature of the week. We're going to be announcing it on Monday morning. Also, we'll be announcing it at the same time as showing off my website as well, where the creature feature of the week will also be. I'm very excited. Batman, thank you. Thank you for tweeting out the stream. I do appreciate it. Kakashi, wow, thank you for that host. You've had a bad weekend. You've been sick. Oh, no. I hope you feel better, Booked. You're fighting a cold, but other than that, you're pretty good? Oh, Dahi, that sucks. I hope you beat that cold. I'm doing awesome. I've not paid for Game Pass or Live Gold this entire year. I love Microsoft Rewards. Right? Life is great. Ads do suck, Regal. They do. They do. Crimson, how are you? Good morning. Rocco the Bear. Thank you for that host. I went to bed and it was raining, woke up and it's snowing. Basically, it's what we went to bed with. The alien chest burst scene is the best. Yeah, that's a good one, Prime. That is a good one. Today's coffee chat of horrors, though. Good morning, Miss Blue. Today's coffee chat of horrors is based on sci-fi. This entire month is sci-fi month for coffee chat of horrors. So we'll be talking and discussing the originals, not the remakes, the originals, War of the World, The Time the Earth Stood Still, Forbidden Planet. We've got a whole bunch more to come. But we're going to be talking about the birth of sci-fi. And that's the birth of sci-fi. If you combine your Amazon Prime and Twitch, you don't get ads. Oh, okay, Miss Blue. That's interesting. That is interesting. Hello, Jason from Hell. Good morning. It's all melting again. Yeah, we're gonna get rain. I know. Life is great. I gotta find his T-shirt. That's my problem. I've gotta find his T-shirt. Yeah. Well, we've got obviously, War of the Worlds, The Time Machine, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, The Forbidden Planet, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Now, some of the youngins aren't gonna know this. Get your mix play out of the way now, because it's gonna go as soon as we hit the web show side of things. It will disappear. It will be disconnected. Just a heads up. Ash, thank you so very much for the auto host. Much appreciated. I got something in my eye. I do have to say thank you. Oh, don't forget exclamation. Oh, wait, hold up. Can you guys hear that okay? Error code. Thank you for that auto host. Much appreciated. Awesome. Thank you, Whispers. Thank you. Diva. Thank you for that host. I forgot to open something up this morning, so I'm doing that right now. Don't know why that's popping up there. Weird. Exclamation point morgue. Don't forget exclamation point morgue, guys. You watched Psycho at the weekend? Nice. No. It's because I didn't have the bot open, Regal. I didn't have the bot open. Killer Matt. Thank you for that host. Metalhead. Thank you for that host. Much appreciated. Yeah, that was the reason why. Yeah. Yeah, we've got rap. We've got Freddy Krueger rap. So funny. Oh no, Book lost her voice. She's been so sick. No, that's not good. I hope you guys feel better. Yes, don't forget exclamation point morgue, guys. Every hour, every 60 minutes. So you guys were able to do exclamation point morgue, and you will get 1,500 limbs. 1,500 limbs. Ghetto. Thank you for that host. I appreciate it. All right. I think we're going to disconnect our mix play board here in a little bit. The sparks, you guys can still, that'll be there. It's the rest of the board that will not be there. So, but you're done? How? You can play with the board all you like. You can. You definitely are able to. You're able to play with the board. The only things that will not be connected would be the videos and some of the overlay stuff. That's about it. So, but yeah, other than that, you can press everything else. Go Klepto. Thank you for the host. Lacey. Thank you for the host. Which song was the parody of? I don't know. I don't remember the actual song for it. Dillinger, thank you for that host. We are over on Twitch and YouTube just because I wasn't sure what was going to happen with the stream today. You know how things are with Mixer. Good morning, Batty Page. How are you doing? How was your weekend? Welcome to my world, bitch. Thank you for the tweets, guys. I do appreciate the tweets and the retweets. It's awesome. Thank you so very much. It does, babes. It does, very much so. Very much so. But everything should be up and running. Things should be okay. Everything on my end looks good. So let's hope, let's keep our fingers crossed that we keep going. Nope, I am on Mixer as well, Blue. But it's all right over there. Running Bear. Ah, thank you for that host. Yep, I can't trust Mixer. It's I just can't. We've seen the issues that we've had with stability over here, so I just I rebroadcast over there. But yeah, no, Mixer is usually unwatchable for Heavy and a few others. If Heavy wants to watch the show, he can't watch it from Mixer. Mixer Mobile does not work for him. Neither does it on the website app. I have 3 subs at my YouTube channel. Very cool. Right, Running Bear? How the hell are you? Great. Thank you, Ghetto. I appreciate that. Yeah. Well, Heavy just can't watch on Mixer at all. Miss Mayhem. Ah, thank you for that host. This is so weird. What's so weird, Devil? Perfect, Metal. Perfect. Devi Cakes. Ah, thank you for that host. Whichever one is talking. I will watch as much as I can. No, booked. It's okay. It's all good. So you're able to watch on 1080 on both? That's awesome. Oh, because Heavy's not on Mixer. Heavy's not on Mixer. He can never watch Mixer. He's on mobile, so he can never watch on Mixer. Even at home, it doesn't matter what he does. Mixer mobile, Mixer website mobile doesn't work for him, so he won't be over here. Chronic. Ah, thank you for that host. Maybe a shot of my drink will wake me? What are you drinking? Miss Mayhem, thank you for those embers. I appreciate it. You get 50,000 limbs. Thank you, Regal. Sundays is the only show that's spread across. My other Monday through Friday is not, but Sunday's show is, because there are people that cannot watch me on Mixer. So, yep, I've gone to the blue side. Yep, no worries, you get that coffee. The other day I put 2 different tequilas and some rum in a flask. Tequila and rum together. Hey, thank you for that host. Tequila and rum together. Ugh. It's the dark side, but better. It's like the dark side, but better. All right. Are you guys ready? You guys ready to get in some information? I found out some really cool stuff today. I mean, not today, but yesterday and all week long. Some of our favorite phrases from some horror movies were birthed from these sci-fi movies. So I'm excited to bring you that information. I learned a lot about the birth of sci-fi. So I hope you guys learn as well. Tequila and rum together sounds like a fist fight in a glass. I agree. I agree. Whiskey? I like whiskey. It's not bad. Oh, celebrations, hey? I know a lot of people had Halloween parties this weekend. I have not Prime. I was going to watch it last night, but I forgot. Yes, this is Otis. Okay, so this is Otis and the cheerleader. This is from House of a Thousand Corpse, what you're seeing here, like my little collection next to me. It was your birthday yesterday. Well, happy born day. Mischief Maker, thank you for that host. Hello, Otto. I haven't even seen it. Haven't even seen it. Tiny Raptor, thank you for that host. Grimlock Prime, thank you for that host. I added a bunch of people to my auto host for when I am sleeping. So I hope you guys enjoy that. I know a couple of you messaged me and thanked me for it. You don't have to thank me for it. I know that there's people that lurk in my channel, and I just want to give you guys some love. Bumpiest, how are you today? Hi, Grimlock. How are you? Venial, good morning. I love your face as well, my friend. Yes, I haven't seen anything yet. Oh, I'm doing great. I'm doing great. Thank you for those sparks, guys. I do appreciate it very much so. Well, I gather we are ready to start the show. So we are going to switch on over. The first thing that we are going to discuss today is H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds. Now, this is originally aired on CBS radio series. The actual novel was written in the 1800s, but it went to radio in 1938. It was the 17th episode on CBS radio. So we're going to be talking about the original movie. The original movie aired 1953, but this actual broadcast from 1938 struck fear in many Americans' hearts. They didn't realize that the original, this here was fiction. At the time in the 1930s, everybody had a radio. Everybody. Nobody had television, right? My jumping, it ain't gonna be working. Nope. Jumping jacks. No. It was radio play. Dahi, thank you for that host. Cobra, how are you? Sorry if I don't chat. No worries. It's all good. It's all good. Not much of a goal this weekend, just relaxation. I did a lot of work this week and I have a busy week next week. Darn, the week is so busy for me. But I was doing a lot of research. Oh, I don't have a goal. It's whatever we hit, right? I don't push sparks too much. If they want to spend them, we spend them. I hit whatever milestones the horde wants to hit. So if you guys want to spend them, spend them. If not, all good. All good. It's going to be hard work for me here too. Yeah, Regal, you've got some work. Thank you, Grimlock, for those sparks. Otto, thank you for that host. I do appreciate it. You died to Ghostface. Oh my God. Thank you so much for those sparks. I do appreciate it. Scary cats. Yes. Yes. So the War of the Worlds was written in, I think the novel's first appearance on hardcover was in 1898 from a publisher called William Heinemann of London. It was written between 1895 and 1897. It is one of the earliest stories to detail a conflict between mankind and extraterrestrial race. I thought that was really interesting. I'm so tired. My eyes hurt. Ooh. Yes. Zoom. Thank you for that host. I appreciate it. Wolf of Motown. Thank you for that host. The movie from 1953, it had a budget of $2 million, which 600,000 of that, which was 30%, was spent on live action scenes, while 1.4, 70% was spent on the extensive and elaborate special effects. Now, back then in 1938, they did not have computers like CGI. So a lot of the stuff that you've seen was hand built, puppets. Devil Dog, thank you for those embers. I appreciate it. We will spin the wheel for you later. Phoenix Inferno, thank you for that host. Turn, how are you? Good morning. Just like Star Wars. Well, this actually helped inspire some of the sci-fi that we love today. Star Wars, Star Trek, Lost in Space. The movies that the novels and movies that we are going to be discussing, this is the birth of sci-fi. This is where we get our Star Wars, where we get our Star Trek from. Thank you. Thank you. Turn, thank you for the host. Thank you, everybody, for the host. I do appreciate it. Yes, old school SFX for sure. When this was heard on the radio, at the time, there was war going on. There was things going on in the United States at that time, which made this very realistic because radio was the only way people had an outside source to the world. They had their own talk inside their homes, but in order to know what's going on in the world or going on around them in their cities is radio. There was no television, news reports on television. They didn't have HBO. They didn't have high definition television. They had nothing. They had radio at this point in time. And all of their news and radio broadcast shows, all radio, all vocal, and many of the shows are voice actors, right? At this time, in the 1930s, after the War of Worlds was out, they made a law stating that no voice actor can impersonate the president of the United States. Not everybody knows that when this was actually aired, they had voice actors, and these voice actors sounded like the military and president at the time. So they actually heard the president's voice when it really wasn't the president. They made a law in the United States that you can no longer impersonate the president of the United States. And that I found was very interesting, very interesting. The War of the Worlds is a science fiction novel by English author H.G. Wells, and it was first serialized in 1897 by Pearson's Magazine in the UK. We do have a couple of trailers that you guys can watch. Some of you probably have no idea what War of the Worlds is. I know some of you youngins, you have no idea what that is. Unless you've actually seen the newest one, War of the Worlds, which doesn't even give justice to the original War of the Worlds. So we're going to watch a quick trailer. Hold up. Don't you do that. Hold up. And we'll show you guys what War of the Worlds were. Yeah, the newer one, you always got to see the originals before you see the new ones, guys. Always, that is a must. You can't be sitting there watching the new ones and yeah, no. Can you guys see that? Okay. We're gonna go like this. Ooh, that one sounds like it's gonna be a good one. Thank you, Whispers. Thank you. I have both versions on DVD. Mm-hmm. Can you guys hear this okay?
This could be the beginning of the end for the human race. For what men first thought were meteors or the often ridiculed flying saucers are in reality the flaming vanguard of the invasion from Mars.
Looks like they're going to come out of that gully pretty soon. We'll have to rush our defenses to be ready when they do.
Guard, you need plenty of reinforcements.
We'll get them. Lieutenant, look!
They slash across country like scythes, wiping out everything that's trying to get away from them.
That explains why communication is cut the moment their machines begin moving.
Montreal's blacked out. Nothing more's come through.
Same thing that happened on the Pacific coast. Anything from them yet?
No, Mr. Secretary, we've had nothing from San Francisco for over 5 hours.
The nations of the world mobilize their armed might, rushing to defend the Earth against the unknown weapons of the super race from the Red Planet. Is there nothing that can stop the Martian death machines?
Guns, tanks, bombs. They're like toys against them. We know now that we can't beat their machines. We've got to beat them.
Good morning, Death and Freeze.
All over the world, human beings cower before the onslaught of these unearthly enemies, whom no one has ever seen. Panic that sweeps around the globe as the great masses of mankind flee blindly in a headlong stampede of hysteria.
In Technicolor. Definitely a great movie. This is the birth of sci-fi. Seriously, this is the birth of sci-fi. Now, we don't have any cosplay or tattoos for this show. Normally you guys are used to tattoos and cosplay and artwork. There is none. There's artwork. There are no tattoos, and there is no cosplay. So that is the original War of the Worlds, 1953. We're going to go through a little bit of the novel, and then we're going to go through his broadcast, the actual broadcast, and then we're going to go dive into the movie some more. Yeah. Bumpiest, you are very correct. The War of the Worlds has been both popular, having never been out of print, and influential, spawning half a dozen feature films, radio dramas, record albums, and various comic books, adaptations, television series, sequels, and other stories made by authors. It was oh my God, I can't even speak this morning. Now, 1938, the radio program that allegedly caused public panic among listeners who did not know the Martian invasion was fictional. Canada. Now, this literally, we don't want to see that. We want to see this. This is what we want to see. There we go. Welcome, Channel 1. Vivid, thank you for that host. I appreciate it. We are discussing, if you are just joining us, this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, the Sci-Fi edition. We are talking about War of the Worlds. The novel has influenced the work of scientists, notably Robert H. Goddard, who was inspired by the book, invented both the liquid-fueled rocket and the multi-stage rocket, which resulted in the Apollo 11 moon landing 71 years later. 71 years later, by reading a novel. This is how he was influenced to do what he does. And because of War of the Worlds, it inspired him and other scientists to invent liquid-fueled rockets. So I thought that was kind of interesting that a novel inspired somebody to become more than just one scientist. And reading the book and reading the novel and listening to the 1938 broadcast helped create some of the stuff and technology we use today. Hi, Devil. How are you? Devil of Dark. Yeah, I thought it was I thought that was pretty cool. Yes, this radio show, it did. It really did. We're going to actually get into some information on the radio show because I've dug up a lot of stuff about War of the Worlds. In 1895, Wells was an established writer, and he married his second wife, Catherine Robbins, moving with her to the town working in Surrey. Here he spent his mornings walking and cycling in the surrounding countryside and his afternoon writings. The original idea for War of the Worlds came from his brother during one of these walks, pondering on what it would be like if alien beings were suddenly to descend on the scene and start attacking its inhabitants. So he created this novel while he was walking through the countryside with his brother. And they were just discussing, what would happen? What would happen if aliens did drop down? And you have to think about that's in the 1800s. In the 1800s, they were discussing aliens. In the 1800s, we weren't even going into outer space at that time, but they were already discussing and thinking about aliens, right? Corrine Games, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. Mama Ducky, thank you for that host. I can only imagine how it must have seemed to folks in 1938. Yeah, right? But just to think about it, how hooked we are on aliens right now, that in the 1800s they were talking about aliens and they were thinking about them. Not that they knew that there was actually aliens out there. It's just something that they were discussing and thinking about. The broadcast from the 1930s tapped into anxiety of the time. Just ahead of World War II, you got to remember, World War II, much of the world was nearly... Shit, that scared the fuck out of me. That was loud. I completely forgot it was that loud for the video for YouTube. You'd be ready if they dropped? Happy Sunday morning to you, Xbox Mom. I hope you guys remember to set back your clocks. NBS Death, thank you for that host. That was loud. Yeah, I forgot to turn it down with the YouTube video. Yeah, it would be very curious on that. Anyways, right before World War II, much of the world was nearly or already at war when the program aired. So you got to remember about that too when this aired. I know people are like, oh, they got scared, but this is radio. Some of the country was already in war. The Munich summit, at which Western powers allowed Germany to take over German-speaking parts of Czechoslovakia, had concluded a month before, and the tension was still palpable. Mr. Q, thank you for that auto host. I do appreciate it. Sorry. Um, Japan, controlled by militarists, was plundering China, and fascist Italy had overrun Ethiopia. So you got to remember when this broadcast came out and people were scared shitless. Julianism 11, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. Radio and newspaper was slugging it out for market share throughout the 1930s. They had plenty of news fodder, including stories of the Lindenberg baby kidnapping and the Hindenburg disaster. Schwartz said that by 1938, radio and the print media had reached a detent, particularly by the time of the Munich diplomatic crisis a month earlier. Newspapers had started affiliating with radio stations. So you think about it, you've got print and now radio coming together and working together. They also pushed out this broadcast in newspapers. They realized they couldn't outrun this new competitor, so they figured it would, if you can't beat them, join them. So the radio and the newspaper joined forces. So I'm trying to give you guys the atmosphere of 1938 to understand the broadcast, right? Now, Franklin Roosevelt, stamp of approval. By 1938, radio had created for itself an aura of authority. President Franklin Roosevelt was using the medium for his fireside chats, in which he would talk to American people about the issues of the day. Roosevelt recognized the power and the medium to engage the listener. People treated those fireside chats as a visit from the president into their living room. So like we would watch, Family Guy or anything like that, this is what they accepted into their living room. This became part of their daily lives, their routine in the evening. They perceived this as a direct personal relationship with the president. And so it kind of gives you an idea of where they were, where their minds were, what it was at. Are a lot of your streams about this kind of stuff? Every Sunday, I host Coffee Chat of Horrors. And Coffee Chat of Horrors is a web show that we do. We discuss sci-fi, horror, and thriller. This month of November, every Sunday, we will be discussing sci-fi. My Halloween was amazing. How was yours? Yeah, you can see why people would have been a little on edge. Global conflict at the time. Like I said, I'm trying to give you guys, like in country, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. Oh, nice. GG's. My anniversary was on Halloween. There was a radio in every home. In 1935, a couple of years before the broadcast, there were twice as many radios in American households as telephones. Think about that. Every room probably had a radio. Living room was probably the biggest radio of them all. By 1939, there were 63,794 radio stations operating in the United States alone, broadcasting to about 27 million families who owned radio sets. That's a lot. That's a lot. That's a lot of radio. I am looking forward to the next 7 days because of the fireworks. Oh, you're not. There's fireworks. Miss Spike 21, welcome to the Horde. You got to run? All right. Have a good one, Lycan. Thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, Lacey, I hope you feel better. You haven't been having a good time there lately, hey? The landing spot. Now, when we are talking about the landing spot, we're also talking about the landing spot in the movie. As writer Howard Koch was working on the script, it occurred to him that the story was going to include a pitched battle between Martians and people of Earth. While traveling through New Jersey, he stopped at the gasoline station and bought a map. When he got home in Manhattan, he laid out the map, closed his eyes, and where he dropped his pencil is where the battle would take place, which was in Grover's Mill in central New Jersey. Now, this was writing the actual screenplay for the 1953 movie. Hi, Stylish. How are you? How are you? Thank you, Dahi. Thank you for the 2 months. Holy shitballs. Thank you so very much. Okay, the car shop doesn't even open until noon. I want this car. I'm so excited for you, Miss Blue. So excited for you. I'm glad that you're getting a car. Yay. Good morning, Diabolical. Good morning, Stylish. How are you? We are discussing War of the Worlds. I can't English today, man. I can't English today. Thank you, Dahi. I do appreciate that. Thank you. Brains for everybody as well. Well, yeah, this is where this is how the battle was pursued and picked. The landing for this fight was in New Jersey. Fearing the possibility of panic, the Mercury Theater on air troupe began the program with a statement that said the following program was fiction. Now, going into the movie theaters, they had to put this in here because they thought of the panic that might ensue. Well, thank you. I do appreciate it. The perfect mesh between horror and sci-fi. Definitely. It definitely was. We have a new War of the Worlds TV series in the UK based in the 1800s. Nice. Nice. So before and during and in the middle of the movie, they actually put a statement in saying that the following program was fiction. The disclaimer was reported at the 40 and 55-minute mark of the program, because of what this radio broadcast earlier in the 1930s has caused mass panic. When this was coming into the theaters in 1953, they actually put disclaimers that this is fake, this is not real. Again, in the 1950s, the world was also going through another conflict. The United States was going through another conflict. So they had to make sure that people were not going to go, flood the streets and riot. There was, and at the time of the broadcasting, no commercials. No commercials. Now, the movie props. I kind of figured that the movie props would be a cool thing because they didn't have CGI back then. And everything was created by hand. All of the big monsters and aliens that you see, all created by hand, and some of them were recycled and used in other later on sci-fi movies. Right? Cuban Missile Crisis, yeah. The Martian war machines were originally going to be walking tripods as they were deposited in H.G. Wells' novel, but George Pal didn't know how a tripod would walk. Instead, went with flying machines with these tentacles that came out of the machine's body, right? So in the original novel and the way it was broadcast, it was a tripod walking. When the movie came out, they were flying objects with long legs and tentacles that came out of it. So it looked like it was coming out of the sky. The Martian war machines had about 20 wires running to each one. So that's kind of crazy there. Some were for suspension and maneuvering, while others carried power to various lights and mechanisms. This was produced before there were lightweight circuits and sophisticated radio controls. These here were those alien ships that you see were literally created well before we had sophisticated radio controls and lightweight circuits. Thank you, Regal. Thank you. So I found that really interesting as well. Back in a time where they were creating these Martian ships, that they were connecting all this stuff together before we had all of this lightweight and actually good radio controls. And I thought that was pretty cool. Yeah, exactly, Dahi. That's why I ignore it. Ignore it, right? I mean, useless. George Pal initially planned to portray the Martians and their fighting machines similarly to how they appeared in the original novel. However, after being informed by the United States Army technical advisor that the tripods, as they are portrayed in the 1897 novel, would pose no real threat to the 1950s era human military, he opted to change the fighting machines. Namely, Pal chose to introduce the atom bomb resistant deflector shields. So when this novel was written in 1857, they didn't nearly have as much military force that they currently had in the 50s. So when he was creating these monsters, these aliens, he contacted the military, the United States Army, and the Army stated, look, your tripod fighting machines, they'd get annihilated against the human army. So that's when they revamped their aliens and made it bomb resistant, like atom bomb resistant, to make it even more, make it scarier for today's people of the 1950s, right? Thank you for that auto host. Thank you for that auto host, Bear. I do appreciate it. Definitely appreciate it. None of the original Martians war machines exist today. They were made out of copper, and after production, they were reportedly donated to the Boy Scout copper drive of that time. Those were big. Those were really big. They weren't small things. And to have them donated, can you imagine how heavy they were? Which trailer are you thinking of? I have trailers for you for all of the movies that we're going to be speaking about today, because I know some of you have not seen them. See you later, Channel 1. You have a good day. And we turn off that one. There we go. Some more War of the Worlds. The sound effects of the Martian war machines, Heat Ray, were created from the 3 electric guitars played backwards. So in the 1953 movie, the first one was a trailer. Oh, yeah, the very first thing that we watched was War of the Worlds trailer killer. That is what I did play, so everyone kind of have an idea of what we were discussing. Oh, the new TV series? Yeah, I don't have anything for that at the moment. Right? Chat did not break. Chat did not break. So the Martian sounds were the heat rays that you heard in the movie. They were made from 3 electric guitars played backwards. The sound of the Martian screaming after Forrester hit it with a mixture of a microphone scraping along dry ice and a woman's scream played backwards. The former set of sound effects became widely used stock sound effects after the film was released, and those sounds are still in use today in our sci-fi movies. Some of the original sounds to make for Aliens. So I thought that was really interesting that they used 3 electric guitars played backwards, also using their mic and scraping it alongside of dry ice, and a woman's scream played backwards. That is how you got the sounds for these aliens. And this is one of the original, what the original alien ships look like. Yeah, and it is. It's still, hi, Gentle. How are you? How are you? It's definitely interesting. A lot of the information that I was able to come up with is definitely very interesting. To even read about some of it, like how there's some of the information I didn't even put in here. Just because there's just so much, and so much information on it. The voice of the secretary. Now, this is one of the other things I wanted to let you guys know. This is where the ruling came in that you can no longer impersonate the President of the United States. I wanted to tell you guys about this. The voice of the secretary who describes efforts to combat the Martians is that of Kenneth Delmar, an actor who did a spot-on northeastern aristocratic accent that strongly suggested the voice of President Roosevelt. In 1938, the networks prohibited radio programs from impersonating the president so not to mislead the listeners. Now, we know how much panic was struck into into their hearts of the American people. And so they came up with that rule and that law, the prohibiting people from impersonating the President of the United States because of the amount of panic the radio show did. I thought it was kind of crazy. Yeah, I know, Miss Blue. You leave for 2 seconds and boom, dingleberries. Dingleberries. I would be evil if I was president and said the sky is falling. Right? Well, back then you could. And nobody would know the difference. We're going to zoom in on this guy here. And this was one of the first, this is one of the drawings of artwork. This is artwork. This is actually painting. This is pretty cool. Obviously, they did not look like this, but this one is pretty cool. The next one we're going to talk about is The Time Machine, which is another H.G. Wells and another novel that was turned into a movie. But 1953, the birth of sci-fi. And then here's another artwork drawing of The Massacre of Mankind, the sequel to War of the Worlds, which did not take off. Book is better than the movie? Always, always, always. Great Gamer 127. Mwah, thank you for that host. I do appreciate it. Hello, Spore. How are you, darling? How are you? Welcome to my world, bitch. Woody Beefcakes, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for that follow. We're going to lower this here. We are going to watch. Let me just see, where's my YouTube video? We are going to watch a video on the Time Machine, 1960s. Again, this was, I'm going to turn it up loud so you guys can hear it. But we're going to go like this. We're going to go like this. We're just going to wait for the commercial to play, and then we'll play the actual trailer for the movie. Let's skip this friggin' ad. That not. Let's remove screen capture. And boom. There we go.
Such stories as H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds and Jules Verne's 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea have challenged mankind. So today, man is successfully probing deep into the mysteries of the universe. Can he penetrate
Nazca,
the
thank you for
greatest
the host.
mystery of all, time itself? It took the creative magic of George Pal and the fabulous production know-how of Metro-Goldwyn-Mayer to catapult you through time into a world that is yet to be.
Why is it that we usually ignore the fourth dimension? You see, we can move in the other three. As the doctor said, up, down, forwards, backwards, sideways. But when it comes to time, we are prisoners.
Inventor Rod Taylor's breakthrough into the realm of the fourth dimension is defied by his friend Alan Young.
If that machine can do what you say it can, destroy it, George, before it destroys you.
Every moment is a year, hurtling through the atomic wars of the future on an incredible excursion into the unknown. What are the people like? Ah, the shape of things to come. It's lovely Yvette Mimieux. And what happens when boy meets girl thousands of years hence?
How do they wear their hair?
Who?
The women of your time.
Up like that?
Show me.
Is this the human race of the future? Or is this the Morlocks, fiendish creatures who live in a weird underground world? And the Eloi, the tranquil sunshine people, who the Morlocks dominate and maintain like cattle, luring them below with the hypnotic wail of the sirens, to feed upon them in cannibalistic horror.
Cannibalistic horror. Actually, Moon Smurf, it is the exact time machine used in Big Bang. We're going to go into that more as we go. Yep, Killer. I already knew that. All right. The time machine that you've seen is actually in, let's see. We want the time machine. There we go. The time machine that you see in the Big Bang Theory is the exact time machine they used in this movie. Where you get Doctor Who and all of that from was inspired by these movies. This is the birth. This is the birth of sci-fi. The birth of it. And the time machine is seen in more than one movie and TV show. It has been seen in more than one TV show as well. I'm glad you're doing well, Spore. Thank you for that. Mwah, thank you for that host. I appreciate it. Batty Page, thank you for that host. The movie was made in 1960. The Time Machine is a science fiction novella by H.G. Wells, which was published in 1895 and written as a frame narrative. In the 1960s, after War of the Worlds, they have created The Time Machine. If you have never seen The Time Machine, you are really missing out on tons of great sci-fi. These movies that we're going to be discussing, these are the birth of sci-fi movies. This is where we obtain every sci-fi movie we have ever seen is based off of or have been inspired by H.G. Wells and Jules Verne. So if you haven't seen those, you are really missing out, and you definitely need to go and watch them. You can probably see them now on, missing out on times, pun intended. Thank you for tweeting out the stream, Porky. I appreciate it. The budget for this film was $850,000 USD. The box office, $2.61 million. Talk about a profit. $850,000 to create this movie. $2.61 million. The Sack Maniac, thank you for those subs. Thank you so very much. Thank you for 2 months. Thank you. Don't forget exclamation point morgue. When the time traveler stops in 1966 in the front window of Philby's department store, there is a very brief shot of a display featuring the latest tubeless TV. It looks remarkably like a modern flat panel computer monitor. So I thought that was kind of cool. In the 1960s, they didn't have flat panel monitors or TVs back then, right? You remember seeing Gremlins 1 and you don't remember that? It's in the convention center. When they're doing the inventors, in that convention for the inventors in Gremlins 1, that's where the time machine is at. Fun uniform. Thank you for that auto host. I do appreciate it. Yeah, all of them you should be able to watch now. Some of them don't have any copyright to them, so they are public domain. Not all of them, though. So when the time traveler stops in 1966, that's the year that they stop in. The TV is the latest tubeless TV. It looks like a flat panel monitor. Yeah, exactly. Conservative Catbot got you there, and I unfortunately cannot. I unfortunately cannot reverse Catbot. There is no way to reverse Catbot right now. I need to zoom in on this for you guys so you guys can see this imagery here. Alan Young, David Philby, and James Philby is the only actor to appear in both of the films, the remake and the original. So there was a remake of The Time Machine in 2002. He is the only actor to be in both of them. So he was in the original in 1960, and then he was in the remake in 2002. Is the budget and profit before or after inflation? This is in that time's money. That's in that time's money, in 1960 money. Not talking about in money that's here, like our day. And Catbot's a pain in the ass. I am Sinister. Thank you for that host. I appreciate it. See you later, Otto. Thank you for stopping by. Or maybe he just traveled forward in time in the remake. Right? Before inflation. Yes, before inflation. Any monies that I give you are always in that time's money. So when we talk about horror in the 80s, it's that time's money, not new time's money. Inflation, this is back then. We stay with that, like we're in that era. The plaque on the control panel of the time machine reads, manufactured by H. George Wells. That is H.G. Wells, author of the source novel. So if you're looking at the time machine, you actually get a shot of the time machine, and it does say the plaque on it. Even in the Big Bang Theory, because that's the exact time machine that you see there. That time machine is that one. It's not a replica. It's not a remake. That is the actual time machine from the movie The Time Machine, and there is a plaque on there that states it, and you get to see that in the movie as well as I believe in Big Bang Theory. So I thought that was pretty cool. I'm doing pretty good. Hello, Mama Ducky Hubby. How are you? So, the errors that these films take place in for the time machine, I'm going to zoom out of this guy here. There we go. The films take place in December 31st, 1899, January 5th, 1900, September 13th, 1917, June 19th, 1940, and August 19th, 1966, and October 802,701. That is the year. So you have several different errors throughout the time machine. Right, Regal? No worries, no worries. I always try to make my coffee chat of horrors very informative. Things that you won't obviously see in the movie or don't get told inside the movie. So I always try making it. See you later, Prime. You have a good one. You have a good one. And they do, though, Gentle. Do you know how many things have been recycled in horror movies, from sci-fi movies and action adventure movies that you see now? They also like to use a lot of KY jelly and shredded condoms in Hollywood. Hence how we have Predator and the alien xenomorph from the movie Alien. So they like to recycle and use all sorts of stuff. You'd be surprised on what movies have recycled the same sets over and over in different shows, and glow sticks. Definitely glow sticks as well. The shape of the time machine itself was inspired by one of George Pal's favorite types of childhood vehicles, a sled. This is the reason for the sled-like design of the machine, so that it could slide into time. That's exactly what it says. So he can slide into time. I thought that was kind of cute. The original time machine, Porky, thank you for that hose. Laughed when I told her what the xenomorph costume was made out of. Exactly. The xenomorph costume from Aliens was made out of KY jelly, the slimy part of the body, and then the mandible, the jaw, and all the lines on it was shredded condoms. So, I mean, you learn something new by watching this show every Sunday. So the original time machine was sold at MGM Studios auction in 1971, the same auction that originally sold the ruby slippers from The Wizard of Oz in 1939, and the winner of the auction was the owner of a traveling show. 5 years later, the prop showed up in a thrift store in Orange County, California. The time machine literally showed up in a friggin' thrift shop. Could you imagine? Yeah. Film historian Bob Burns purchased the time machine for $1,000. Using blueprints his friend George Pal had given him years earlier, he and the crew of friends restored it. The restoration crew included D.C. Fontana, script consultant and writer on Star Trek, the original series in 1966, and Michael Miner, art director of Star Trek, The Wrath of Khan in 1982. So could you imagine going through the friggin' thrift store and finding and seeing that time machine? And if you don't know what I'm talking about, I will show you guys an image here very shortly of what the time machine looks like. But I'm like, I've never found anything that cool at a thrift store before. I want to know the full journey of that time machine after the auction. Well, they restored it and then of course used it in the series. When George arrives in the year 802,701, his time machine reads the date of October 12th. So George arrives into the New World on the anniversary of Columbus first reaching the New World of the Americas. And then we already know about the Gremlin scene in the Inventors Convention in Gremlins 1 is where you see the time machine. And then you see the time machine yet again in 2007, Big Bang Theory. You also see, you'll see this one throughout different movies, but those are the two biggest ones that you get to see this time machine in. I want to see some classic stuff in the thrift stores, right? Could you imagine just, walking around, looking around, and all of a sudden this giant sled time machine is standing there? bought it for $1,000. $1,000. I have a time machine. It runs on Doritos, right? I love that commercial. Love that commercial. I am going to show you the time machine. This is the time machine. There are exactly 365 rivets on the disc of the time machine. It makes sense considering that there are 365 days in a year. You dirty zombie bastard. I wish I had some sort of way to be able to ride a time machine, right? Wouldn't that be kind of cool? My time machine is risky, take enough, and you wake up without knowing where time went. But could you imagine seeing this at a thrift store? I'm buying it. I've never found anything that cool at a thrift store before. And 365 rivets. 365 rivets to make that back circle for 365 out of the year. Because there's how many days in a year, right? So, I think that's pretty cool. Just a couple more of the time machine from 1960, aside from leap year. Yeah. Waiting for my Steelers game to come in. Nice. Very cool. Very cool. Keep an eye on time. This is just some of the artwork for the time machine. That the first picture I showed you of the time machine, that's the actual time machine itself. Of course, it was restored after finding it in the thrift store. It was restored. Thrift stores, I've only been able to ever have old stuff that smells like cat pee, right? I've never found a friggin' time machine from a classic movie. Or anything from a classic movie. But I gather in California, you probably could find anything because that's where Hollywood is, right? Now, why aren't you? Now we are getting into 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Now, I, for one, could not read this book. I don't like anything to do with the sea. I don't like anything to do with the ocean. So this is horrific for myself. We are going to watch a trailer. It is definitely a good movie. I'm going to show you guys some earlier trailers as well. This movie is from 1954. It was written by Jules Verne, and it was published in 1870. No, I don't like anything to do with it. Yeah, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. No, thank you. Not for me. I'm going to show you the...
When you feed...
Oh, shut up. When you fade, nothing, bitch. We're going to skip this ad, and then we will... I have a definite big fear of open water. And I am going to show you the full trailer. Give me a second. For 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, 1954. For those of you that have not seen it, I'm actually going to make it full screen here. Captain Nemo. It cost $1,000, Mama Ducky, to buy that one. Oh, wait, you guys can't see it. Oh, let's hold up. Let's see. There we go. We're gonna go back here. I seen that. I've got some information about Disney in this movie.
The motion picture screen explodes with unprecedented power as the two masters of imagination, Jules Verne and Walt Disney, join to bring you a shattering new experience in entertainment. Read by countless millions, translated into 18 languages, this classic adventure is a story of measureless scope, fraught with fantastic beauty and danger. 4 the spark of life to its leading characters in a series of inspirational performances. Kirk Douglas as the master harpooner, Ned Land.
Got a whale of a tale to tell you, lads, a whale of a tale or two, about the flapping fish and the girls I've loved on nights like this with the moon above. A whale of a tale and it's all true, I swear by my tattoo.
James Mason as Captain Nemo, who held the destiny of the world in his hands.
The real story of the ocean depths begins where you left off. Wonders.
Hi, I'm the Alex. See you later, the Crimson. Thanks for stopping by.
Secrets that are mine alone.
Paul Lucas as Professor Aronnax of the Paris Institute.
I asked you to leave, Professor. You also asked me ashore to show me man's inhumanity to man. Why? To justify this, you are not only a murderer, you are a hypocrite. The proof lies out there. You call that murder?
Peter Lorre as Conseil.
Sure we're friends. Go ahead, hit me. Hit me.
You mean that?
Sure, go ahead, you can't miss it. Now we are friends.
The most vivid scenes from the novel become unforgettable on the screen. The luxurious interior of the submarine. The revelation of the hidden mysteries of the deep.
We do our hunting and farming here.
Underwater?
The sea supplies all my wants.
The mighty harvests of the ocean kingdom. And the strange creatures that menace the intruders on the ocean floor. And after a safe return, the memorable dinner party.
It's remarkable. This tastes like veal.
The flavor deceives you. That is fillet of sea snake.
Yes, Mama Ducky.
I guess this isn't lamb.
That is brisket of blowfish with sea squirt dressing, basted in barnacles.
Basted in barnacles. Bleh.
What is it?
It's a recipe of my own. Sauté of unborn octopus.
And to stay in your memory as the most thrilling sequence ever photographed in motion picture history, the terrifying battle with the giant squid.
Definitely different back then. Jammy Dodger, thank you so much for that host. No, me neither, Batty. Me neither. So that there has a very big iconic scene of the big fight between this son of a bitch right here that you see and the people. I got to ride the 20,000 League Under the Sea ride at Disney when I was a kid. It was awesome. Yeah, Kirk Douglas is super young. Oh no, Regal, Wi-Fi went out. Not good. All right, so 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea is a classic science fiction novel by French writer Jules Verne, published in 1870. It tells the story of Captain Nemo and his submarine, the Nautilus, as seen from the perspective of Professor Pierre Aronnax, after he, his servant Conseil, and Canadian whaler Ned Land wash up on their ship. On the Nautilus, three embark on a journey which has them going all around the world and under the sea. This is a really cool movie for 1961, and 1916 was the original silent film, and then it was remade for 1954 with Walt Disney here. So when you guys are saying Walt Disney, now there's some stuff going on with Walt Disney now. But anyways, they remade this in 54, but there is a silent one in 1916. The footage that they obtained here is real footage of underneath the sea. This is not computer stuff. A lot of the scenery that you see underwater is actually from under the water. It's not fake. Yeah, Disney is very shady. I could find out. I'm not too sure, Mama. I'm not too sure. But yes, the actual undersea footage was shot in the Bahamas in the location that was used for the silent film 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea in 1916. So the imagery that you do see is from the Bahamas. It is actual underwater visuals, right? Walked by the TV, saw the standing by the window and said, hubby, that looks like 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. That's exactly what it is. Exactly what it is. Be right back. No worries. No worries. Actors portraying the cannibals chasing Ned Land painted humorous messages on their foreheads. Not legible on screen, but you're still able to see what they kind of say. You know there's writing on their foreheads. And in particular, one actor wrote, "Eat at Joe's," while another actor behind him wrote, "I ate Joe." So this just gives you some of the scenery of the cannibals on the island that are chasing Ned. We're going to go through the storyline a little bit, giving you some information on the actors, giving you some information on the cannibals in here, because they were cannibals. They were on an adventure, journeying around the sea. You're on mobile? No worries. It's all good. It's all good. Joe Show, thank you for that host. I do appreciate it. This production was so large that Disney had to facilitate at other studios. So not only did they use their one studio, this included Universal International exterior sets redressed for the opening scene and 20th Century Fox larger exterior tank for the larger models. They had to use more than one location because it was such a ginormous scene. Especially the opening scenes, right? Was one named Hannibal? Hannibal the Cannibal? I'm not 100% sure. This I found interesting as well. This was the first new full-length Disney film released by Buena Vista, Disney's new in-house distributor. Previous Disney films have been released by RKO, and re-releases of old Disney films were handled by Buena Vista in 1954 and onwards. I thought that was interesting for Disney. And this is actual artwork from people who are fans of the movie 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Again, we're not having any cosplay because there was no cosplay for this. No tattoo work for this either. So we're just, checking out some of the cool stuff on here. The Nautilus, when the Nautilus ram a ship and we see how it sinks down through the water, some of the bubble streams are animated to hide the wires that support the ship model. Now, the model is actually a pretty big size model that was held together, and they had wires. They had metal wires that were holding it. And when the ship goes under the water, they did have to make some extra bubbles and make them animated, so you did not see the wires that are holding it together, which you wouldn't even notice, right? You wouldn't even notice. One of the models of the Nautilus created by Harper Goff was a squeezed version, which could be filmed with a standard lens and still looked normal when projected in a CinemaScope. So it was squeezed, and it was literally squeezed, a model, so they could use it in a standard lens. But the way they filmed it and the way they had it done, you did not know that it was squeezed. You had no idea. It looked like a regular full-size image of the Nautilus. In addition to his many contributions as the production designer, Harper Goff also taught Kirk Douglas how to play the guitar for the Whale of a Tale, which is a number that's done in this movie. Which is done in this movie. I don't know how someone was able to hit that button, because I did not. I undid it. Welcome back, book. I'm sorry you can't. Call me Zios. Mwah, thank you. It was. I just turned it off fully. Yeah. You don't hear it anymore, right? How you doing, Zios? How is your day? All right. So sections of the film were photographed on location in Jamaica and the Bahamas by director Richard Fleischer and the crew of over 400 technicians. 400 technicians filmed in Jamaica and in the Bahamas. Some of the actual underwater scenes that you see are from the 1960 film, the silent film, but they were actually filmed underwater. So a lot of the sea turtles and octopus and stuff that you see, those are real. That's not made. That's not puppets. That's not computer generated. Those were actual imagery from underneath the water. I am doing okay. I am doing all right. No fishing boat would or will carry bananas, considering how bad luck bananas were by deep water fishermen. And I thought that was kind of strange in the research that I found about bananas. The bananas had to do with part of this movie, but no fishing boat or vessel would ever carry bananas because they thought it would be considered bad luck. Interesting on how some of the mythology of the sea, I thought that was kind of strange, but I guess they have their what is that called, superstitions, right? I don't know. You know how on the sea they have several superstitions, blood on the moon, all these type of superstitions that they believe could be horrible to the life of the boat and the people on said boats, right? George Peck auditioned for the role of Captain Nemo. Gregory Peck, but he did not get it. Kirk Douglas, who is a big actor, but at that time his salary was $175,000, the most that Walt Disney had paid to any actor on that stage. Normally, Walt Disney does not pay huge amounts of money to actors, but Kirk Douglas, he wanted $175,000, and that was the most Walt Disney has ever paid to any actor. They showed that in a series of unfortunate events, lacrimose leeches showed up after their aunt ate a banana. True sailors are notorious superstitious, so I guess it's not. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, right, Regal? Well, the sea is unknown, right? The sea is unknown. Here's a really cool thing for you. You guys have ever seen Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country in 1991? Rora Penth was also the name of the prison on that planet. Because Rora Penth is a name in 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, which also influenced some of the Star Trek movies, especially the prison on Star Trek: The Undiscovered Country in 1991. Now, if you've never seen this, I do have a spoiler. Guys. If you've never seen 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Nemo dies. Although Nemo dies in this movie, his fate was left unknown in the original Jules Verne novel, and he reappeared in the sequel, Mysterious Island. Now, that is the novel. So, spoiler alert, the Captain Nemo in the movie dies, but in the novel, it is unknown his death, which I thought was kind of cool how they switched things up a little bit when it came to the novel and the book. So if you've never read the novel, you would think that the captain has died, when in fact Captain Nemo did not die. And in the sequel of the novel called Mysterious Island, that is where you see Captain Nemo again. So if you didn't read the book, the Banana Boat song appeared in the classic Beetlejuice movie. That it did. No need to watch it now. Rod destroyed it for you. Yep. Thank you for those sparks, Devil Dog. Thank you for those sparks. Now, I can guarantee you most of you have never seen the Forbidden Planet. Now, why does it always do this to me? There we go. The Forbidden Planet. The Forbidden Planet was in 1956. It did a lot of groundbreaking stuff here. This movie did a lot of groundbreaking stuff in Hollywood, especially for the industry. In 1956, The Forbidden Planet, its budget was 1.9 million. It hit box office at 2.765 million. So it made some money, just a little bit of money. Hey, you love the Banana Boat song? Yes, Forbidden Planet. You need to watch it. You definitely need to watch it. Forbidden Planet was Hollywood's first time completely going out of this world. When I say groundbreaking, every sci-fi movie that you see from the 1960s, 1950s and up, the aliens always invaded Earth. This is the first time in Hollywood you see Earthlings traveling into space. There is a comic book shop in London called Forbidden Planet. Yep. So that is kind of cool that this is the very first time in Hollywood you see Earthlings going outside and going into space. Now, I don't know if you guys noticed this robot, Gort's costume here, but this robot also played in Lost in Space. Well, inspired by when they created the robot for Lost in Space, they were inspired by this robot here in the Forbidden Planet. Mika, thank you for that auto host. Thank you. I do appreciate it. The soundtrack as well was groundbreaking. Forbidden Planet was the very first movie to have an entirely electronic score. It was composed by Beebe and Louise Baron, who were the pioneers in their field of electronic music. Robbie the Robot, yeah. Yeah, there are entire chains of Forbidden Planet stores and just Forbidden Planet. Yeah. And they're based off of this movie. They're based off of this. Robbie the Robot was related to the washing machines. Seriously. That is Robbie the Robot. Robert Kinoshita designed another iconic robot. So he designed this robot and he also designed another iconic robot. That electronic entity being, of course, the robot from the 1960s sci-fi series Lost in Space. While their design was somewhat different, the two cybernetic companions shared a similar talk box, a display that lit up in tandem with rhythm of their speech. Robbie actually guest starred on 3 episodes of Lost in Space. I don't see how it's scary. Kind of looks cute. No worries, Mama. No worries. Yeah. Sigmund Freud was inspired for the story, was an inspiration for the story. This is going to be a spoiler alert. A spoiler alert. If you haven't seen this movie. Hello, Halloween freak. How are you? The cutest thing can also be the deadliest, for sure. For sure. Okay, so for this fact, there is a reference to 1/3 of Sigmund Freud's structural model of the psyche, the ID, the part of the unconscious mind that represents our primal needs and desires. That is what is also part of this. Sigmund Freud was an inspiration for the story. The narrator of this movie was mentored Captain Marvel. The narrator mentored Captain Marvel. If you guys know who Captain Marvel is. Also, the Forbidden Planet reflected the sexism of the times. Back then, sexism, was a pretty big thing. Women were looked upon a lot differently than they are nowadays. But when they were creating this, they also pulled from that time's society when creating Forbidden Planet. Now, Disney played a part in Forbidden Planet's visual effects as well. So they had a portion in this too. You'll notice Disney start coming into a lot of the sci-fi stuff and a lot of the films that we see later on in life. This film also influenced several and I'm talking about several iconic sci-fi franchises. And we're going to go into those franchises as well. Really, it has, Devil. It has. Many of the movies made back in earlier times were always influenced by the economy and the society of that day. Like Nosferatu back in the 1900s, 1920s. That was created on the economy of Germany at the time. And a lot of these movies, vampire movies, like we went on last Sunday's show about vampires, a lot of the horror that we see back then was also based upon society and the economy of that era. So kind of interesting to see where these movies take shape and what they use for influencing them in their movies and creating these things. Here is one of the original, an original cinescope from the Forbidden Planet. The movie, like I said, has inspired several and influenced several iconic franchises. Star Trek is one of them. Now, do you know, particularly the transporter room effect that was likely inspired by the status chambers used for the light jumps in the film. So, if you've seen this film, you'll notice the transporter room. It's the same for Star Trek. Very, very close to Star Trek. So it was influenced by that. Same thing with Star Wars. We have the movie also inspired the 4-part Doctor Who tale, Planet of Evil from 1975. The tractor beam generator and Star Wars looked like part of the Krell Machine network, while a hologramic sequence in reminiscence of the message to Princess Leia sent to Obi-Wan Kenobi via R2-D2 in Star Wars. So not only did this movie influence Star Trek, but some of the biggest sci-fi movies going. Doctor Who, also Star Wars, Star Trek. So you kind of get an idea and of what the birth of sci-fi really was. Thank you, Angel of Death, for that auto host. Cool, you're going to watch it right now on Netflix. Awesome, Best. Awesome. It makes me think of science fiction double feature from Rocky Horror. Lou Adler referenced it in that song too. But yeah, I do a lot of digging and a lot of research for the information in these films, because this is literally the birth of sci-fi. H.G. Wells' War of the Worlds was the conception. This is where we get our sci-fi from. Many of these older movies inspired people, and like I said, some of these movies inspired scientists to create the things that we have now, like rockets. Interesting, right? I thought it was very interesting to see people influenced, especially when they watch these as children and grow up to become scientists because of the movies that they would watch back in the 1930s and the 1950s. And this is just a piece of artwork that was created by somebody for the Forbidden Planet. All right, now let's see. We are going to watch, believe it or not, Leslie Nielsen is in this movie as well. We are going to watch a trailer for the Forbidden Planet. And so as we see, we have Leslie Nielsen and Francis Walter Pidgeon and Robbie the Robot. Thanks to Reaper 1923 for these trailers and for the imagery. Again, all of this stuff here that you see today will be in Discord under Coffee Chat of Horrors, and as well under Reaper's, the Reaper Report in my Discord. You will be able to watch the entire VOD over on YouTube as well. So we'll have all of that by the end of day today. We'll be in Discord. So if you want to see any of the research or want to go through any of the research that I have found for these movies, they will be in Discord. Let me get this here. And do a screen capture. Now this is reimagined But you guys will get the idea. Second. We go. I'll turn it louder for you guys as well. Forbidden Planet official trailer.
Attention, captain to crew, attention. Our destination, Altair 4, is now visible. Do you recollect from your briefing lectures, this is an Earth-type planet? 20 years ago, the spacecraft Bellerophon landed here. Our mission is to search for survivors.
Others. But there are no others, Commander. Every man and woman has come to a sort of a planetary force here. Some dark, terrible, incomprehensible force. This planet was the home of a mighty and noble race of beings. They were 1,000,000 years ahead of humankind. When in the course of eons they had abolished sickness and insanity, crime, and all injustice, they turned, still with high benevolence, outward toward space. But then, seemingly on the threshold of some supreme accomplishment, this all but divine race perished in a single night.
Going without you.
This broke many grounds in Hollywood. This movie here.
We're all part monsters in our subconscious.
Yes, this movie, let me lower this beforehand. This movie, like I said earlier, when I was going through,
when MGM...
Shut the fuck up. Anyways, like I said earlier, this, this movie was groundbreaking in Hollywood on many levels. I don't know if you've seen in watching that trailer, some of the iconic stuff that you've seen in Star Wars and Star Trek. You do that too? Yeah, I'm good for that. I'm like, shut the fuck up. Just shut up. I stopped playing it. But this movie it broke many, many things that Hollywood was not doing. So I think it's kind of cool. And if you have never seen this, movie, I think you really need to, especially if you are a sci-fi fan. If you are a sci-fi fan and haven't seen any of these, can you call yourself a sci-fi fan? I think not. This is the birth of sci-fi. You need to have seen these. And as you watch Forbidden Planet, you can take a look and see some of the stuff that is in Star Wars and in Star Trek. Two of the biggest, I know, right, Blue? Two of the biggest sci-fi movies ever made. So have fun watching this. I know some of you will. I have. I mean, I'm a horror fan. Sci-fi is really cool. I enjoy it. And I have seen every single one of these movies. Gotta go back to the roots to appreciate the genre. Definitely. Same thing with original horror movies. You can't just go in and watch Rabid, the new Rabid, when it drops in theaters without seeing the original Cronenberg. Like, you can't. You shouldn't. You need to see where horror started. You need to see the previous stuff so you can appreciate what we have now and what we've had in the 80s, 90s, and the 2000s for horror. How can you appreciate that if you've never seen any of the originals? I don't think you can. That's the problem with today's society. They only want the new shit. They don't want to do the work for the old stuff. Yeah, I'm a bigger horror fan than I am of sci-fi, but in order to kind of see where things have come from, you do have to see where they started. And sci-fi was basically the start of that, right? I mean, you can't say all of sci-fi was done to horror. Hello, Metro. I thought horror started with my ex-wife. Oh, wait, you said horror. My bad. Good morning, Metro. How are you? Now, let's see. Let's go like this. Yep, here's some more of some Forbidden Planet imagery. But yeah, I definitely suggest watching this. As YouTube stated, you can rent or buy this right now on YouTube. And you're going to notice that some of the stuff that you see here, as well as in the 1960s, Lost in Space, as well as Star Trek and Star Wars, which these were heavily influenced by this movie. I'm doing pretty good. I can't complain. Can't complain. I had to make sure I lowered everything so we didn't blow out people's eardrums. Now, this next movie, unfortunately, I don't see. Oh, wait. Maybe. Oh, wait. Maybe I do see it. Okay. Now, this movie here that we're going to talk about, The Day the Earth Stood Still. This has inspired many horror movie phrases. And I found this one pretty fucking awesome. I enjoyed The Day the Earth Stood Still. We're going to watch the trailer, and then we're going to go over some information on this one. Yes, another amazing movie. It is a great movie. A great movie. And I highly suggest you see it. And many of the Bruce Campbell fans, when you actually see what's going to be done in here or said it's going to get a bit, oh shit, that's where that came from. Bruce Campbell and Sam Raimi were big fans of Sci-Fi. So I'm just going to give you that little hint there. Furlong, thank you for that, host. How are you doing? We're going to go like this. We're going to close out of that. We are going to show you the trailer for The Day the Earth Stood Still. This is a 2008, but you get the idea.
Your attention, please. Make your way directly across the courtyard to the main barracks. Leave all your cell phones.
Very good movie. Here. But this is the 2008 trailer.
Part of this team. Don't be afraid.
Afraid of what?
I'm going to ask you a series of control questions. Are you currently in a seated position?
Yes.
Do you feel pain?
My body does.
Are you human?
My body is.
General Quinn needs to see you in the briefing room. He says it's urgent.
Yeah, I've seen the original. I haven't seen the remake. This is the remake.
On the planet Earth.
Scroto, darling, thank you for that, host.
I'll repeat the question.
She's amazing. Serial killer, how are you?
Feel what?
Yes, he did.
You should let me go.
Yeah, I know, Reaper. It's hard to find an original. I even looked myself. Yeah, definitely decent. I've only seen the original, but I'm actually going to try to find this one and watch it.
The Earth survives.
I am going to try to find this one and watch it. I've only seen the original. But again, trying to find trailers and stuff like that that look decent from 1951 is very hard. It is not an easy thing to do. Yeah, the original is great. I will obviously try to find and see the remake. But no, there we go. Nope, that's not what I want. Technical difficulties. Love being live. Easier, so much easier if this was recorded. Boom. So, some of you guys are going to know this name right off the bat. This is Klaatu and Gort. Now, if you are a Bruce Campbell fan or a horror fan like myself, you know where the name Klaatu comes from. I mean, if you've seen any Bruce Campbell movie, especially the movie Army of Darkness or The Evil Dead, the whole Klaatu, that guy is right there, and Gort is the robot that you see. How you doing? Yep, Klaatu Barada Nikto came from this movie. This is beautiful. This is a beautiful, beautiful drawing. But the phrase Klaatu Barada Nikto has become a popular phrase among sci-fi fans over the years and has been featured in other movies such as Army of Darkness from 1992. The line was also used in an episode of the Rockford Files by Jim Rockford, says it to a huge henchman on the episode's bad guy. So isn't that incredible? This is one of the actors' name is Klaatu, and they use that line. Now, that line has been used in numerous movies. I thought that was really cool, being a huge Army of Darkness fan and Bruce Campbell fan. But that whole Klaatu Barada Nikto. This is a beautifully done drawing. Beautifully done. This film was made in 1951. The budget for this film was $995,000. The box office made $1.85 million. $995,000 to make, and the box office brought in $1.85 million. Batboy, thank you for the host. Right, Furlong? Right? To give the appearance of a seamless to the spaceship, the crack around the door was filled with putty, then painted over. When the door opened, the putty was torn apart, making the door seem to simply appear. This is just some of the special effects that you see in this movie. Remember, CGI was not a thing back in the 50s. CGI was very non-existent. A lot of the stuff that you see is putty, clay, costumes, puppets, all the props that you see. That is really how they created their sci-fi world. You don't remember that episode with Rockford Files, but you love the Rockford Files? Yeah. I never heard of this Bruce Campbell guy. I can't even keep a straight face when you type that. Right, Scroto? Yeah. They had that much cash. Yeah, they did. They had that much cash back then. In the original short story on which the screenplay is loosely based, the robot, Gort, was the master. Klaatu was merely one of the series of doubles or maybe clones that died after a short time. And again, that's where you get the whole Klaatu Barada Nikto. Yeah, Batboy, because you're late to the show, bud. That's what happens when you're late to the show. I still have the Klaatu Barada Nikto original Return of the Jedi figures from '83. Nice. That is awesome, Lord. If you are just joining us, this is Coffee Chat of Horrors, Sci-Fi Edition. This is the month of November, which is all Sci-Fi month for Coffee Chat of Horrors, which is done every Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time. Today, we discussed War of the Worlds by H.G. Wells, The Time Machine as well, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, Forbidden Planet. So this is just the birth of sci-fi, what we're discussing today. Next Sunday, I'm going to leave you guys with that towards the end of the show. But next week is going to be really awesome as well. So the Army, hi Fishburne, I was able to catch you on. Hello, how are you? The Army refused to cooperate after reading the script. The studio then approached the National Guard, which had no qualms about seeing the Army deposited in a less than flattering light and gladly offered their cooperation. You've never seen Army of Darkness. Moon Smurf. What? Battle Broadcast. Welcome to the Horde. Thank you for that follow. You have never seen it. Oh my God, you need to go and see it. Right, serial killer? Right? God, kind of feels like I'm back in school getting lessons. I'm glad you're enjoying it. You know what? A lot of these shows that I do, so many people talk about it later on and they're like, yeah, I figured that out. I've learned that from your show. Or they tell people things that they've learned from this show in their tweets like Spore Rose did. Yeah. A lot of the sci-fi movies that you see in the 50s and the 60s and have contacted the military. They wanted to make these films as realistic as possible. Like in War of the Worlds, when they contacted the military about the designs of how they would fight and take on the Martians, the military stated, you know what? These would be wiped out by the military in the 50s. So they had to reconstruct those. They had to reconstruct the Martian time machines and all of the war machines that they had so that they would appear scarier and more technically advanced than humankind, right? Yeah, it is. It's pretty cool. No worries. No worries, Nikki Tiger. It is all good. The spaceship that you see was made out of wood, wire, and plaster of Paris. So if you've never seen The Day the Earth Stood Still, you'd probably have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. And it's such a sad shame because you need to go and see it. We are discussing the original 1951, The Day the Earth Stood Still. We watched the trailer for the 2008 remake of the movie with Keanu Reeves. Not right now. Not right now. The screenplay was based on the story Farewell to the Master by Harry Bates. It was originally published in the pulp magazine Astounding Science Fiction. To demonstrate the seamless closing of the ship and its ramp, they just reversed the film of the shot of the ship's ramp and door appearing. So you remember in the beginning how I told you that they made the door and they made it look seamless in appearance to the ship? Well, they just reversed that and made it backwards. So it brought you another seamless closing of the ship door. So they just, which I thought was really cool, they took that scene and just rewind it, basically. Haley Dawn, thank you for that host. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. Harry Bates paid a mere $500, was paid a mere $500 by 20th Century Fox for the rights to his short story, Farewell to the Master. Hence how they were able to write this film and create this film, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Without that, if Harry Bates did not sell them the rights to that story for $500, this movie made $1.85 million in box office, budget of $995,000. They paid $500 for the screenplay, for the short story. I found that, to me, that blew my mind. Like, holy shitballs, this movie would not have been done without the short story of Farewell to the Master, which they raked in $1.8 million. Can you imagine Harry Bates kicking himself in the ass for selling this to 20th Century Fox for $500? Serial Killer, thank you for those embers. Thank you for those embers. This was the second big-budget science fiction film featured to be released by a major American studio since Just Imagine in 1930. The first was an RKO's The Thing from Another World, which was released about 3 months earlier. So I kind of thought that was, thank you so much for those embers. I do appreciate it. Oh, okay. I'm just checking something here. Now, this is the actual imagery from the 2008 version of this movie. Robert Weiss was attracted to the project because of its covert anti-military stance and also because he believed in UFOs. How are you? No. Oh, Serial Killer just dropped his balls on the stream.
Make sure you slap those balls, fondle and tickle them. Just hit 200, and I'll give you 20,000 limbs.
Make sure you slap those balls around. Slap them. In the original story, Farewell to the Master, the robot's name was Nut, not Gort. When they actually did it, when they wrote the screenplay, they changed it from Nut to Gort, and it's Nut spelling with a G-N-U-T, not N-U-T. Perfect time for ball dropping, right? Perfect time for ball dropping. The crowds in the original movie, the crowds that you see are local government employees, including FBI offices. Were also asked to participate in the film. No releases were required by the employees. Hi, Kit, how are you? So a lot of the people that you see in the crowd in the original movie are all mainly based on government officials, because that's where they filmed this movie. And the film takes place July 1951. In 1951, that's where it takes place. Again, we are talking about the original The Day the Earth Stood Still. And here is a poster. 44 hits. GG's. Right? Oh, this one's cut off just a little bit. But here is The Day the Earth Stood Still. That is the robot Gort. So I thought that was kind of interesting with the whole $500 and making $1.8 million off of this movie. Why does it always revert to my chat and never to the actual image that I want it to hit? That's the wide image. And we're going to show you some other artwork created. Right, always have Gremlins. Never saw the black and white one, but saw the remake. Yeah, the remake with Keanu Reeves in 2008. I have never seen the remake. They were getting kind of sore after 40 hits. Probably. Let's take a look here. I'm tired of turning it on and off. And let's see, do we have another trailer? Nope. All right. I've seen both, but the remake was a lot different. Most likely, I have not seen the remake. You can rent this on YouTube as well. It states that you can rent it on YouTube if you've not seen the original. The cover of Ringo Starr's 1974 album, Goodnight Vienna, features Ringo and Gort. For those of you who are young, you probably don't know who Ringo Starr is. You're good, just drinking some coffee? Very good. You haven't seen the original. You should see the original. I'm sure the remake is just as good. But if you see the original, you'll definitely see the differences between the original and the remake from what I've been reading. When I was doing the research for this, I found a lot of interesting information. He is a Beatle, definitely, Kit. But if you've ever seen the cover of Ringo Starr's album Goodnight Vienna, it features Gort, the robot from The Day the Earth Stood Still. And I like this imagery. The Day the Earth Stood Still, 1951, 75 years of sci-fi. And 20th Century Fox has a lot of stuff, and I heard some news about Disney closing the vault on 20th Century Fox horror movies and stuff like that. I haven't read the full story, but we're gonna go look that up here in a little bit as well. But this is just some of the artwork from the actual movie, the original. 42 next week. He's Mr. Conductor. You'll be having coffee soon? Nice. Nice. The drawbridge. Now, in this movie, there is a drawbridge, a drawbridge shown in the up position when the electricity has been neutralized. It is a photo of the 1929 to 1980s Greenpoint Avenue Bridge between Brooklyn and Queens, New York. So there is a scene there where you see the drawbridge. It is upright. That is an actual photo of what between 1929 and 1980s Greenpoint Avenue looked like. And it's the bridge between Brooklyn and Queens, New York. Well, with Disney, they said they'll be uploading a lot of Fox too. Yeah, we'll see. We will see. There's some information on that, and I'm a little. In this movie, there's not a lot of deaths. There's not a lot of craziness in this movie. The Day the Earth Stood Still, as in the 2008 version, from my understanding, there's lots of violence in that one. When I say violence, I mean like casualties and fatalities and stuff like that. In the original movie, there is only a fatality in it, which are two soldiers that are guarding Gort. The two soldiers that are guarding Gort are the only two humans to die in the film, and in the film, not in real life. I'm not talking about real life deaths. I'm talking about the fatalities inside the movie. Dialector, wow. Thank you for that auto host. I do appreciate it. Dinosaur killer. But that is our whole thing on the sci-fi. We're going to do our trivia as well today. Because we have some trivia. I did put it in the mod Discord channel. All of this research that you see here, along with the imagery that you see, will be posted in Discord. I know by the end of my day today, you'll have a VOD in there. You'll have my research. In the Reaper 1923 channel, you will have all of the artwork that Reaper found. I will also add all of the trailers into the Coffee Chat of Horrors section there with the research. Yes, I know Batman wasn't feeling all too well. I'm just trying to see if we have another. Okay, we're gonna show an updated trailer for, since we have it, might as well, for War of the Worlds. I don't know if any of you guys have seen War of the Worlds, the 2005 version, with what's his name? Oh, the Scientology guy played it, Tom Cruise. That's it. You love War of the Worlds? Yeah, Kaya. That was our very first part of the Sci-Fi show that today. We spoke about the War of the Worlds, the original War of the Worlds, the 1938 version, and as well with the 1953 movie. In the beginning of the show, we did speak about War of the Worlds, which is the birth of sci-fi. We spoke about the broadcast of 1938 and why it caused that type of panic in that era, because of the state of the world at that time, the state of the United States actually at that time. A fun tidbit on how they read the book over the radio, and we went through that, and I kind of explained why though. During that time, there was war, there was conflict going on, and radio was the only way of learning about the outside world besides newspaper print. If you've missed any of the show, guys, you are more than welcome to check it out in my Discord. All of the research I did for today's show will be there and as well. I got a lot of good information, Kaya, on the birth of sci-fi. Next week's show is gonna get you. We've got a lot of good stuff for you. Again, continuing on with the sci-fi theme, because November is Coffee Chat of Horror Sci-Fi Month. Next Sunday, there's so much research on the whole birth of sci-fi. I had all the films we talked about today. We talked about War of the Worlds, The Day the Earth Stood Still. We talked about the broadcast of War of the Worlds, as well as the original movie, the props. We talked about The Time Machine, the movie, the original, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. We spoke about the silent version of that one in 1916, and then the later version in 1954, the year my mother was born. We also spoke about The Forbidden Planet, which was in 1956. So we started out with the birth of sci-fi using H.G. Wells. And next week's Coffee Chat of Horrors is going to be the Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers pictures, as well as Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars and Star Trek, Doctor Who, Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, Lost in Space, The Invaders, and The Time Tunnel. That show there is going to be compressed. Okay, it's a big show that I have to get in 2.5 hours. We're not gonna dive in deep in each episode for that show next week. We're gonna go and I'm gonna give you some interesting facts that most people normally don't know about those shows. And we are going off of the originals. There is so much. There is that Flash Gordon and Buck Rogers in itself. That's Battlestar Galactica. Hi, Assassin Girl. How are you? Life is Evil. How are you, sweetness? So these are the shows that we're going to talk about next Sunday. I'm excited for Star Wars and Star Trek. I know I've got some Trekkie fans up in here. Miss Blue Suede Hayes is one of them. So I have covered so much in a month. We do. We have to cover so much in a month of sci-fi. And so it's going to be a lot of work. November is going to be a very full work research for me. So November is a busy month. I'm not going to have any time to do much of anything else besides this week. I got to do research for all of these shows that we're doing on Sunday. Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Lost in Space, The Invaders, and The Time Tunnel. We are going to discuss the originals. I'm not discussing remakes, especially of Doctor Who and the Twilight Zone. I will not be discussing or Lost in Space remakes. These will be the originals. So in case you guys are getting all hyped up for all of that, it'll just be the originals. I don't have time or to get all of that in 2.5 hours for the remakes. Yeah, right? Live long and prosper. All of these movies here that we're going to discuss next Sunday have been influenced and inspired by the movies we spoke about today. So that's why if you guys missed most of today, I highly suggest rewatching it, because some of the information that you're going to hear and see in next Sunday's show is going to bring you back to this first episode. Nanu, I love that show. Mork and Mindy, man, that was always a good show. Always a good show. So we've got a half hour. We are going to, hello, Big Show. How are you, sweetness? Thank you for those embers. Thank you. We are going to do our trivia for today's show. Now, remind you, I have given you guys the answers throughout the entire show. I have also repeated said answers. So, are you guys ready? You guys ready for the trivia? Did you know it was a spinoff of Happy Days? There's a few things I know I've been researching and looking up and actually have lead me down a friggin' rabbit hole. I want to live long and prosper and Vulcan script as a tattoo. Nice, Kit. I am doing good. Oh, I'm glad you're doing well. I'm doing amazing as well. Yes, it will be all the originals, Mama Ducky. It'll be the original Buck Rogers, Flash Gordon. We will not be doing, all of these here have remakes. We will not be discussing any of the remakes. These will be the originals. There's just not enough time in 2.5 hours to discuss all of these and their remakes. So everything that you see next week will be the originals. Just like we spoke here today was all the originals. We did not really speak, except for The Day the Earth Stood Still, because we could not find you an original trailer that looked good. So I did have to show you the 2008 remake of The Day the Earth Stood Still. All of the raw. But yeah, so it should be pretty interesting. You guys ready for the trivia? You hear an echo. Oh, I got you. I got you. I got you. I got you. And that's Flash Gordon, not Flash Gordon. No, Flash Gordon, not Flash Gordon. Flash. But some of the artwork and trailers will be from the remakes, of course, because it's hard to find really good videos of trailers of the original movies. You got to think about it. Back in that time, a lot of the video footage is not great. So you will see, but all of my research will be done on the originals, not the remakes. All right. Who wrote War of the Worlds? Moonsmurf. If we can give a Streamlabs chest to Moonsmurf, please. I did. Yeah, right. Big Show did. Did I miss Flash? Wow, Gordon. I know every time I hear Flash Gordon, I hear that song. So I definitely know Dread. How are you doing, buddy? How are you? How has everything been? How was your Halloween? Damn it, I was getting my iPad. Okay, so here's the next question. Kootsies, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. The next question is, what state did the battle take place in War of the Worlds? What state? Dillinger got it. New Jersey. Nope, New Jersey. It took place in Groves, New Jersey. You were guessing? Ooh, no, we throughout the whole show, I give you guys the answers to the questions. So Dillinger's got that Streamlabs chest. GG's. What movie does the time machine appear in the Inventors Convention? In the movie The Time Machine. Batty Page got it. Gremlins. The Time Machine, first appearance in another movie, the actual working time machine, was in the Gremlins, in the Inventors Convention. It snowed? Yeah, it snows here all the time, Dread, for Halloween. It was cold and windy. In 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea. Who was the captain? Batty got it. Batty got it. SpongeBob. Okay, so the movie phrase Klaatu Barada Niktu, what movie did it come from? Klaatu Barada Niktu. What phrase? The Day the Earth Stood Still. Exactly, Dillinger. Nope. Evil Dead. Nope. Army of Darkness. Nope. Klaatu was a character in the movie The Day the Earth Stood Still. The phrase Klaatu Barada Niktu comes from The Day the Earth Stood Still. That phrase has been used and it was not created by Army of Darkness or Evil Dead. That has come from The Day the Earth Stood Still. That one there was Dillinger, I do believe. Yep, it was Dillinger. Sick Girl, thank you. Thank you for the sub, Sick Girl. Gort Kill All Humanity. Yeah, The Day the Earth Stood Still. We went in depth on the original Dread. On the original, we got some information about the original movie, but we did show the 2008 remake trailer because we could not find a good trailer from the original, The Day the Earth Stood Still. Well, yeah. But it's kind of cool to know that phrase has been around before Army of Darkness or Evil Dead. GG's, everybody, on that. You're coming in late. No worries, Sick Girl. It's all good, darling. This, you are able to see You will be able to see all of this on YouTube, the VOD, as well as all of my research, artwork, and information that you've seen here today will be in my Discord. It will be under the Coffee Chat of Horrors and under Reaper 1923's Reaper Report channel in my Discord. So you'll get to see all the artwork, the trailers, and all of my research. And the original, I will try to put in the original. It's not that good of a version trailer of The Day the Earth Stood Still. I wanted to share something with you guys today. I need to go and get the information. So Bloody Disgusting has put out an article. Have you guys seen Terrifier? Got a Twitter shout out card, but don't have Twitter. You can destroy it, Moon Smurf, and make and create. Okay, so what you can do is you can disenchant that card. Basically, you can destroy the card and take the materials from that card to create a new card. There is a post, and it's pinned in Discord about disenchantment cards for Streamloots. Yeah. Okay, so Terrifier is a really good movie. It is a Dread Central Presents. If you have not seen it, you are truly missing out on a really good movie. They just started filming part 2, Terrifier 2. They just start filming it. There was a little worry there that it wasn't going to be created or made, but it is. It is. They just started filming yesterday. I thought that was awesome because I'm excited for that. I own it. It's right there. Terrifier. Really good scene is inside the building with the lady hanging upside down. See, I really couldn't get into All Hallows Eve. Maybe it was just me in the mood that I was in, but I couldn't get into that whole All Hallows Eve. Yeah, oh no, you weren't with us. We need 3 wheel spins. You remember who we need the wheel spins for? Okay. So we're going to do our wheel spins now. I know the one is, who's the first one for, Regal? Oh, nice, nice. Serial. Okay, so Serial, Devil Dog, and Big Show. Okay, so this one will be for Serial Killer. $50,000 brains. It was Miss Mayhem. But that one there, rigged. Okay, thank you. And then this is for Miss Mayhem. $50,000 brains for Miss Mayhem. And then we have Devil Dog. But as I will wait until Regal does her thing. And that's awesome, Sick Girl. You won the case, right? Thanks, Sardu. I appreciate that. All the brains. I don't know if she's here. But if not, we can always give it to her after. Now this one is for Devil Dog. Yeah, no worries. 50,000 brains for Devil Dog. Yeah, she may or may not be here. Yes. And we will be releasing our first creature feature of the week on Monday. On Monday, guys. We have our first. Hello, babes. Yep. Hi, Squatty. Thank you for those sparks. And then we have, who's the next one? So we've got, I got Mystery Horror Box card. That's a Spin the Wheel. That is a Spin the Wheel there. And then we've got Big Show. Big Show. 50,000 brains for Big Show as well, if Big Show is still here. Those are for the embers that were given. Don't forget, guys, Explanation Point Morgue. Explanation Point Morgue gives you 1,500 limbs every hour. Every hour. The Big Show? Yeah, Big Show was. Awesome. Yes, guys, make sure Morgue, Exclamation Point Morgue, 1,500 limbs. You can do that every hour that I'm live, 1,500 limbs, and the hour depends on you. So if you came in at 9:30, you could do it again at 10:30, and again at 11:30, and again if I was live till 12:30. So you do it on your hour, not my hour. When we gonna watch that I don't get off until 2:30? What, Terrifier? I've hosted Terrifier twice in movie nights. Morgue, M-O-R-G-U-E. M-O-R-G-U-E is how you do morgue. Thank you, Squatty. Thank you. Exactly how Scroto and Zombie have put it out, but without the period. Without the period. And it is a new month. Devil Dog. Did you get your stream? Did we give Devil Dog his Streamloots chest? I don't remember. For the win. Also, if you are a sub, whether you are a sub on Twitch or a sub on Mixer or Patreon, I will be sending out your Streamloots chest today. So if you are a sub and you have Streamloots, you will be receiving your Streamloots chest today. I'll be doing that after stream. And then you guys can use them on Monday. Oh, that's right. He gave you squats. He gave us squats. Yeah, I remember that. I remember that. Dillinger with his fucking jumping jack. Which channel is the link for destroying the cards in? I think it's General Moonsmurf, and it's a pinned post. On this day in 1954, the original Godzilla was released in theaters in Japan. Very good to know there, SSJ. Oh, nice. So you ordered Chuck parts? Ooh, good job. Good job. Midnight. Mwah, thank you for that host. I do appreciate it. Do you guys have any questions for next week's show? I want to start asking you guys questions for next week's show every weekend, like the towards our end, because I know some of you have questions when I am actually reading stuff to you. You guys have questions. So if you have any questions about Flash Gordon, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who, Twilight Zone, Outer Limits, Lost in Space, The Invaders, or The Time Tunnel, let me know. Zombie, next week's coffee show is going to be Flash Gordon, Buck Rogers picture, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars and Star Trek, Doctor Who, Twilight Zone, The Outer Limits, Lost in Space, The Invaders, and The Time Tunnel. I will be posting next week's segment in Discord as well. So you guys, if you have any questions that you want to know specifically for those movies, it'll be the originals, and you can just put the questions in there and I will research those questions. I know I had a question, do you need help researching any of the sci-fi stuff? I am so there. If you would love to help me research some of the sci-fi stuff, I will give you a category and you can research the shit out of it. Next week's episode is going to be jam-packed. It's going to be jam-packed. We have some really big names in movies next week, and I have to get all of that research in 2.5 hours to you guys. So next week's show is going to start at 9:30 a.m. Mountain Time sharp. Hello, Batman. How are you feeling today, darling? Zombie, mwah, thank you for that host. I do appreciate it. Yeah, like I said, we have a long list. And all these are great movies. Flash Gordon, Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Star Trek, Doctor Who. I mean, right there, Star Wars and Star Trek could be their own show, technically, with all the information you can pull from the whole Star Wars franchise. But we're only talking about the very first movie of Star Wars and the very first Star Trek film, because we do not have time to go through the whole franchise, because there's so much information in all of those movies. I don't have enough time in 2.5 hours to bring that to you. The Killer B420, thank you for that host. Thank you. I do appreciate it. Again, if you do have questions on relating to next week's subject that you, goodness, I don't want to delete off. I really hate this wheel shit that Mixer has. Like, seriously, hate this wheel shit. Crap. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it's a mod wheel. I fucking hate it. I hate it. I hate it. It sucks. Because every time I go to try to copy and paste something, Mr. Q, it asks me if I want to time them out. If I want to time them out, if I want to ban them, if I want to delete them, or if I want to whisper them. Anytime I'm trying to copy and paste something, I hate it. Hate it tremendously. It should be exclamation point wheel. That is the command for the wheel. No, when I'm just trying to copy and paste. Sick girl, you won the Switch case, yeah? Oh shit, Flash Gordon definitely could be one whole show. Battlestar Galactica, Star Wars, Star Trek, Twilight Zone, and Outer Limits. Probably not. That would be a one show and together. Same thing with Lost in Space, The Invaders, and Time Tunnel. Now we're gonna do all of that in 2.5 hours next Sunday. Yeah, yes. My main. So I stream on Twitch, certain days of the week. Yeah, she won the case for the Switch. That's awesome. I still need a Switch. Flash Gordon should be a very good one. Who here has seen Flash Gordon? The original movie. I'm not talking about the TV show Flash either. I remember watching that on Thanksgiving when I was a little girl. Hello, how are you? And the full game. Nice. And you have a Switch stick, girl? That's very, very cool. Puda, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. How are you doing? Is one of the greatest films. Yeah, it is a really good movie. It is a really good movie. I got flashed by a guy named Gordon. Does that count? He saves every one of us. Basically, Puda. Thank you for that host. I appreciate it. Gordon's alive. It should be a very interesting show next weekend. Again, if anybody would like to help research it, I do fact check. I'll talk to a few of my mods. I know a few of my mods want to help me research. I fact check all the facts that I find. That's what takes time in doing this show, Coffee Chat of Horrors. What takes me a lot of time is fact checking the facts, because there is so much fake shit on the internet that looks real. You have to constantly fact check the facts that you find. It's ridiculous, but I don't like to give misinformation. How are you doing, Jamie? I will. I'll actually be posting everything in Discord, because I know some of you will want, some of you will have questions. Like Mama Ducky asked me who narrated the one trailer, and I didn't know who, but it would have been a good question to have. So if any of you guys have questions that you want to know about next week's show, like maybe whatever it may be for Flash Gordon, you guys can just type it in chat and I will look at it. Zombie, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. I love Star Wars. Yeah, Star Wars is going to be good. Oh, that sucks, Zombie. That sucks. I fire him. Seriously thinking about it. You're so funny. But yeah, we're going to talk about the first Star Wars and the first Star Trek picture. We're not going to talk about the whole franchise, because that'll take me years. We're only going to discuss the first one. Yeah, because so much information for those. Yeah. I like Star Wars, Star Trek. I grew up on both of them. I grew up watching Star Trek TV show. That is what I grew up on. So, the 10th of November will be those movies that we discussed there. Flash Gordon. Uh-huh. Yeah. Should be a good one. Should be a good one. Princess Aura is my favorite from Flash Gordon. Yeah. I have an idea as well. We might do another sci-fi month come the new year. As of right now, November is sci-fi month, and then December is going to be Christmas horror movies. I still have yet to come up with my 2020 coffee chat of horrors. So if you guys have any input on that, please let me know. If there's something that you guys want to learn about or know about, you can also put that in my channel updates. Yes. We're gonna go and do Christmas horror movies. I saw Star Trek. What about Zack and Mary do a porno? That was like a Star Wars. But yes, 2020 schedule has not been written or done yet. So if there is any movie or TV show you guys would like to see, make sure you put it in the channel updates in my Discord. I will add it to the list. I will be writing. I will be writing the whole thing on probably come December, going to do half of the year of 2020. So if there are things that you guys want to see or want to know about, please let me know. Is there a full list of coffee? There is, but I don't have it in front of me at the moment. It is in my desk, on the side. Well, actually, it's right here. So this is my book where I keep all of my coffee chat of horrors in. Sometimes it changes depending on the information and artwork. Sometimes it does change. December is going to be the month of Christmas horror movies. So we're going to go into a couple of them. As November is sci-fi month. December will be Christmas horror, and Reaper. We'll have to discuss that one because I don't think we've done an appearance with that one. So if you're still here, we'll make a schedule and we'll go over December's coffee chat of horrors as well. And then, like I said, for 2020, I don't have it written, but yeah, right, it's the scariest book. 2020 is not set yet. I will be doing that schedule in December. I will be doing most of the year. So again, if there is anything that you want to know about in 2020, a movie or a TV show, please post it in my Discord. If not, I'm going off of what I enjoy to listen to and watch. And I'm always open for ideas. My favorite Christmas horror movie is Jack Frost. Ooh, yeah, no, the one with Michael Keaton I don't think is a horror movie. But there's a lot of Christmas horror movies. There's the Mother of Christmas, the Mother of Krampus, there's Krampus, there's Black Christmas. There's several Black Christmases, and if we're going to discuss Black Christmas, it's going to be the original. I'm not going to discuss the remakes. There's also Silent Night. There's fucking tons of horror Christmas movies. Hero B13, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. Hello, Commando Slippy. Well, that is it for the show. We're going to do our credits. We are going to do our credits. And we're going to look. Regal, is there anybody on? Anybody on? Santa Slay. Oh, SSJ, there is tons. There is tons. Stardew One, welcome to the Horde. Thank you for the follow. There are tons of Christmas horror movies. Some of you probably haven't even heard of some of them. But again, coming to cosplay and artwork and imagery, some of them will be hard to find because not everybody cosplays horror Christmas. So normally we have a nice mixture of tattoos, artwork, and cosplay. There are going to be shows like today where we're not going to have any cosplay, but we'll have imagery and artwork Again, we didn't have tattoos on this show because there is not many tattoos of War of the Worlds, The Time Machine, 20,000 Leagues Under the Sea, or The Day the Earth Stood Still. Right? Santa Claus? Mm-hmm. No, that one isn't one. No. Gremlins? Yeah, Gremlins is a good one. We're gonna have a good we should have a good month of December. Now remember, in December I will be taking some time off. I might be taking a Sunday off. I'm not sure yet. I have family coming up for Christmas, and I know many of you are going to be celebrating and doing your own things for Christmas. We are going to go and do our credits. We are going to, hopefully they work this time. Hopefully they work. We usually have a problem getting these damn credits to work. There we go. Slowly but surely they will roll. No, I did not. Where? Where? Are you talking to me? Here we go. In a whisper. Stardew, thank you for stopping by. It was a pleasure meeting you today. Oh, okay. Yeah, let's do it. Let's do it. We'll Thank you to my Patreon subs. Thank you so very much. Thank you to the subs today and resubs over. Thank you for all of our new friends and all of the lovely hosts that you see here today on screen. Thank you so very much for each and every one of them. Thank you, Squatty. Thank you. To my mods, thank you so very much for all of your hard work today and keeping chat clean. You as well, Aatrox. Be well, be well. Thank you guys so very much for hanging out with me. And I will see you guys later. We are going to host a couple people. We're going to host, and hopefully I get to see you guys inside the channel. Squatty, I will see you later. Thank you guys. Zero Felicias today. So it's kind of amazing that we had zero Felicias. Thank you so very much for your time. I appreciate it. I had a lot of fun discussing the birth of sci-fi with you guys. Next week's show should be very interesting. Hopefully I can get a whole bunch of that information in a 2.5-hour show. Let's keep our fingers crossed. And if you're not on my Discord, why not? We've got really good stuff in there. And I will see you guys later. Love your faces. Monday morning, 11 a.m. over on Mixer. We will be doing some Dead by Daylight on Mixer at 11 a.m. Monday morning, all times in Mountain Time. I will slash you later. Bye-bye.